Hey guys, welcome to Flat Top King. Hey, today we're combining both of my favorite grills, the Flat Top Grill and the Weber. We're doing pork tenderloin quesadillas. You guys stay tuned. All right, just to get a little quick rundown of the idea, the thought, the ingredients. I've got my pork tenderloin. It's been marinated for about 3 hours. We're going to show you how we did that. I've got some really nice vegetables. Don't worry about the skins. I'll explain that later. Some garden peppers that we've grown, a little pineapple, and a little fresh pico that we've made with a little bit of added cucumber because I just feel like it gives that freshness. All right. So I get a lot of requests on use your grill and your flat top at the same time. So for filming purposes, it's very hard to get back and forth and make it seamlessly. But I'm like,
honey, quiet on set.
But I'm like,
can we just pause and just talk about that ringtone that is ducks quacking?
I'm a big outdoorsman, so that's how it is. All right. So like I said, I get a lot of requests. It's very hard because you got to film back and forth and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? Now's the time. I think we're past that stage where I have to worry about what I cook. I just want to cook the best food possible. And that's where we're at today. So with this pork tenderloin, that's why we're going to put it on the grill, because I don't think that anything is unmatched in flavor when you can get that char, that crust, that flame kiss when it does something. Oh man, same thing with the vegetables. All right guys, so let's break down this pork tenderloin, okay? So I've got it just like you would out of the package. It's got the silver skin on there, okay? So all we're going to do, you can use any knife you choose as long as you're comfortable with it. Just take the tip of your knife, run under it. All right, there wasn't much on there, and I'm not really worried about these little bits. They're gonna be all right. My daughter's eating worse. For me, I like the fat. I think I've said it 1,000 times, if fat is flavor, then you go with what you know, and that's gonna help keep the pork tenderloin moist. Because what we're about to do to it next gets a little tricky, all right? As long as you guys feel comfortable, go with this method. I'm gonna show you a different method right after this is done if you don't feel as comfortable with a knife and getting really close, okay? All right. First thing you wanna do is make sure that your pork tenderloin is pretty much uniform, okay? Typically the tail, don't worry about it. This is your zone right here, okay? Find a good spot, find a flat spot, find a thick spot, okay? And imagine your knife just going right down it, okay? Just a little bit, okay? And every time you do that, you want to open it up. This is called butterflying, okay? Probably to the nth degree. But the whole point of this is to maximize our flavor when we go to grill it. Okay? Don't worry about little holes or rips or anything like that. And as you go along, you're going to notice that you're creating a flat piece of meat, okay? And actually these slits, I don't know if we can get in there. Honey, can you see this? These slits are perfect. It seems like I'm butchering the meat, and I'm not using an excuse, but all this is going to hold little bitty flavors, and it's going to help char the pork tenderloin, okay? So it's not about how pretty it looks. It's about how equal the meat is.
Thickness.
Thank you. Okay, so just like that. So there we go. We laid our meat out. Okay, so just like that. Okay, that's pretty darn thin. Okay, if you wanted to go a step further, this is a thick muscle right here. Not a muscle, just a piece of meat. I'm just going to open it up just a little bit. All it does is allow more flavor, more surface area, and more everything to get inside the meat. Okay, this is way number 2, okay? Let's say your pork tenderloin's like this. You don't feel comfortable doing what I did. You guys know that I have a meat mallet, or you can use the bottom of a pan or anything, okay? Cut your medallions. I would say probably the thickness of a normal, I don't know, what is that, about 1 inch thick? So you would cut your medallion straight down, okay? Take your medallion, put it on top of your cutting board, and flatten it out until the thickness you like, okay? Obviously, thinner the better, but that way you're not cutting as close to your hands, and if you don't feel comfortable, it's a great way to do it. But here we go. So here's the meat. We're going to season up and marinate it. Now that our pork is laid out the way we like it, we're just going to go ahead and season it. I'm going to show you guys that step real quick. So I've just got the standard traditional Mexican / Spanish spices, paprika, cumin, a little bit of red pepper, garlic, salt, pepper, chili powder, and of course you guys know I love my taco seasoning. It goes a long ways. So here we go. All right, first things first, I got a half a lime. Squeeze about half of it on there. Trying to keep my hands clean so I don't go back and forth, but just give it a good douse of lime. Now I'm a firm believer that when you're seasoning something like this, I'm not going to make an oil-based seasoning. I want the seasoning to stick to the meat, and then after that, we're going to oil it so it marinates. For some reason in my mind, I could be wrong. We've talked about it before. I don't know if there's any right or wrong reason. But when oil has a marinade in it, it seems like it repels the flavors from penetrating the meat. So I want these flavors to penetrate the meat as much as possible. Now you guys use the seasonings as much as you like, little as you like. You can do salt, pepper, and garlic if you wanted to, but both sides are going to get the same thing, okay? Just a nice even coat. Don't have to go too liberally with it. With just about every seasoning you got. Obviously, I'm not going to do real heavy with red pepper. And one reason why I take my meat and open it up like this is because there's so much more surface area. This is my red pepper. Need to be a little careful with it. I'm going to do this on one side, not both. Is because it allows the flavor to touch more meat. You could definitely cook this whole and smoke it and slice it thin, but that's not really the idea here. Now that our meat's been seasoned on both sides, I'm just going to take a little avocado oil, just right around the bottom of the pan. So now you got the bottom. Try to get all the nooks and crannies. Come back in here with just a touch on top. And there you go. Now we're gonna let this marinate for about 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much lime juice you guys add. Just be careful, you can't go too long, because obviously you don't want that citrus to start eating away at your meat. Just a touch more. And there you go, 2 to 3 hours, and come back out and finish these pork quesadillas right up. Let's go to the grill.
Like the shirt, honey. Like the shirt.
Oh, you want to fire up the grill? All right. I talk all the time about a 2-zone system. Today, it's not about a 2-zone system. Quick, fast, easy. I've got all my charcoal loaded up on this side. Our grill's already preheated. Since I opened the lid, it's going to get super hot right now, so let's leave it right there. All right, before we go to the grill, I'm not going to add any salt and pepper to my vegetables. We're going to do that on the flat top. I just want to make sure I get them coated in a little bit of oil. And here's a quick tip. If you guys want to follow this lead or do something similar, cut your vegetables chunky. They've got a less of a chance of falling through the grates. Plus you get that incredible char flavor that we talk about all the time. So here we go. You guys see that pork, how much it's marinated? Nice and flat. It's going to cook pretty quick. While our meat's down, I'm just going to set our vegetables
And pineapple.
On this side of the grill. Yep. Because we'll be able to rotate our grill around. All right, guys, it's not been too long. Maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 minutes. Go ahead and check our pork. I'm just going to let this warm up just for... Woo! Look at that. That is something that you cannot replicate on the flat top grill. And that's why we're combining these two grills today, because I'm telling you, this char is what it's all about. All right, our pork is almost done. I'm just going to rotate the grill. Move that off the side of the heat so it has a chance to cool down a little bit. And all we're looking for a char on our vegetables. You don't really have to worry about cooking them all the way through, but this is what I talk about all the time about enhancing the flavor, about taking the flavor up a notch. This is the perfect opportunity to do that because it's something the flat top can't do. But when they all come together, all right. The reason why I did the vegetables last instead of cooking them before the pork, since the pork took so long, is because just like anything else, even though we're going to warm the pork back up, you want to be able to let the pork rest. Okay, so that's a good way. I've always told you, find something to do to let your meat rest. Perfect example. Cook your meat first, then cook your vegetables. It gives it just enough time for your meat to rest, so you're not losing the flavorings. All right, I told you before, don't worry about all the skins. It actually helps hold your onion together. I've always said, match the hatch. So since we're doing a little quesadilla, then I don't want my vegetables to be too big. Now, if you're doing fajitas, this is a perfect way. You could just slice them, put them right on there, and you're good to go. We're just taking it one step further. Obviously, my vegetable choice is completely up to you guys. All right, now that our vegetables are chopped, we're just gonna go right into the meat. The grains run long ways with the meat, so we're just gonna cut it basically in strips. Okay. All right, now that our pork's done, we got our vegetables done, we're gonna reserve that juice. Let's go to a flat top. Let's make memories. You ready? Not a lot of oil, it doesn't need a lot. This is where we're gonna season it up. Fresh cracked pepper. Now I'm not gonna add any different flavorings besides salt and pepper. To me, all the flavoring has already been added. We seasoned our pork very liberally for the same purpose. And I actually like the taste of the vegetables, so I'm not trying to overpower them. I want those to shine on its own. Okay? And just when that pork's on there, just add all that reserved juice. All right, it's very critical and crucial now. No matter if you're making tacos, fajitas, or quesadillas, you taste now, because once it all comes together, it's all done. If you think your meat needs more flavoring or your vegetables, now's the time to do it. So for me, we just combine them all together like a little stir fry. Take our vegetable platter, right back on it. All right, guys, so I've talked to you about eating healthy before. This goes right into the same category. We use these low carb tortillas. They're super easy. They're about 4 to 6 inches wide. There's about 2 carbs per piece. And so this is how we're going to build these awesome quesadillas, okay? A little bit of oil. Just like that. Come in here with the cheese you like. We just got some Mexican blend cheese. And I do it on both sides. I would say all 4 sides, but it's kind of hard to do 4 sides when you got 2 pieces. Just a little bit of cheese on each side. It helps the ingredients stick to each other when you flip them. And don't be worried if you get some cheese around the edges. That just creates a heck of a crunch at the end. Fill these puppies up. All right, here we go. Look, they're already getting nice and toasted. Look how nice they toast up. All right, whether you're using corn or flour, obviously the corn tortillas, you guys want to cook them a little bit longer. But since we're using the low carb, it doesn't take near that long. Let's see what we got here. think I mentioned it before. I'm not really into that big old cheese pull and all that stuff. But that right there is just about as good as it gets. You get the sweetness from the pineapple. You got all that char from the vegetables. Come back here and top it off. Now look, you can do sour cream, hot sauce, all that other stuff. But for me, little fresh pico. You know what I like about it, like right away, is the freshness. You're not getting bogged down by all the, I wouldn't say greasy foods, but nothing is overpowering. Everything definitely complements each other. You know exactly what you're eating. That's why I separated the meat and the vegetables so they didn't cook together. That little hint of pineapple. We put cucumber, since our garden is just overgrown with vegetables. We put cucumber in our fresh pico that we made earlier today. This is absolutely fantastic. So look, 4 carbs. Share it with a wife, so we got 5 carbs going on. This is a heck of a dinner right here. And plus the leftovers, you put them on a salad, put them on anything. You guys are good to go. Thanks for watching. We just combined our 2 favorite grills. Press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share it with your friends. Because the Flat Top King just made awesome pork tenderloin quesadillas.
I'm starved.